Welcome back, tech enthusiasts. I'm Tia James, and this is Cyber Monday, the show where we dive deep into the world of innovation, AI, futuristic gadgets, and all things tech. In today's episode, we'll check out the latest in wearable technology, explore how AI is transforming music production, discuss a major cybersecurity vulnerability that you need to know about, and so much more. Buckle up because this is going to be a tech-packed ride. Let's get started. Wearable technology is getting more advanced, more personalized, and more integrated into our daily lives. From smart rings to augmented reality glasses, let's check out some of the latest innovations making waves right now. The Oura Ring Gen 3, a sleek, lightweight ring that tracks your sleep, heart rate, and even stress levels. And finally, we have the Xiaomi Smart Glasses, which overlay real-time information directly in your field of vision. Are wearables the future of computing? Let's take a closer look.
So I've had this Oura Ring Gen 3 for just over 3 years now, and Oura has been getting a ton of buzz over their new Oura Ring Gen 4. And in this video, I just wanted to go over 10 things that you should know before you decide to buy or upgrade to this latest generation. First off, the Oura Ring Gen 4 has a slightly new design compared to the Gen 3, where it now has a full titanium redesign, which makes it a tad lighter and slightly thinner. It also now comes in 4 additional sizes for those who have smaller or larger fingers. Plus, the sensors on the interior part of the ring are more recessed, so you no longer have those 3 bumps that were on the original Gen 3. But honestly though, you really can't feel the difference, but apparently they do give it a better sensor reading. Which leads me to the second thing to know about the Oura Ring Gen 4, which is the fact that it now has an upgraded feature called Smart Sensing, which uses an algorithm along with the sensors in the ring to better respond to each user's finger physiology. This is supposed to allow for more accurate and continuous data capture. Now, would I say that I've personally seen a difference between these two generations when it comes to sensors? Honestly, no, but I do trust that this has led to upgrades with this new generation. Now, the one improvement that I have experienced and seen is the battery life. Now, out of all of the fitness trackers that I've tested, and trust me, I've tried a good amount, the Oura Ring Gen 3 has the best battery life out of all of them and probably goes head to head with the Samsung Galaxy Ring. I do want to caveat though, I did recently test and do some light research on the Garmin smartwatches such as the Fenix 8 and the Forerunner 965 and found out that those can range anywhere between 10 to 15 days depending on the mode that you have them in. Definitely something I want to dive into more in the coming months. And I can't mention the battery life without talking about Oura's new charger for the Gen 4, which is a bummer to those who already have the Gen 3 version, as you won't be able to charge a Gen 4 with your older one. I do have mixed feelings about this new design, as I do think the Gen 4 charger has a more premium look and feel to it. However, I also prefer the slightly smaller form factor of the older Gen 3 one. Charging time is about the same as well. Now, the fifth thing to know about the Oura Ring Gen 3 is that it still doesn't have any of those smart features that you would see in other wearables like the Fitbit, Whoop, or Apple Watch, which in my opinion would have been nice to have something as simple as like a slight vibration when it's time to stand up if you've been sitting too long during the day. I also would have even loved the ability to use different finger gestures to operate different functions such as turning off your alarm or taking a picture. I also really wish that Oura implemented the ability to have a GPS tracker that could allow your ring to be located through your phone's Find My app. If you happen to lose your ring, you're basically out of luck because there's no way for you to find it. And look, maybe adding some of those features would require the ring to be a lot bulkier, and this is supposed to be a more minimalist design, but look, Samsung Ring does it, which I am definitely looking forward to sharing a video of my experience with that device soon, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel for when that video drops. Now, the next 2 things to know about the Oura Ring Gen 4 have actually more to do with the app versus the device itself. Oura has given its original mobile app a pretty big facelift recently, and they took an already simplified UI and made it even more digestible. I won't go too in depth, I'll save it for a future video, but basically now Oura gives you all your key health scores at the top of the homepage, so you can get a quick snapshot of all your important metrics for the day. You also now only have 3 main tabs to swap between, with the first being a tab that gives you a brief summary of your current readiness based off your sleep and previous 24 hours worth of activities. You then have the Vitals tab, which gives you a cleaner overview of your individual metrics that Oura believes is most important to keep an eye out on, including your activity goal, heart rate, and daytime stress. And then the last tab is the My Health tab, which breaks down things like your resilience, your heart health, your sleep health. In my opinion, Aura definitely has one of the best app interfaces in the fitness wearable game right now, and these updates continue to show how they lean more into a simplified approach versus overwhelming you with a ton of numbers and data. They've also added 2 new experimental features in the app that I've been excited to continue testing out because they are powered by AI. This includes their Meals and Aura Advisor. With Meals, you can basically take a photo of what you're eating and it will use AI to analyze your plate and help you understand the optimal meal schedule for you to be the most alert and focused throughout the day. Aura Advisor is basically their version of a health ChatGPT and large language model tailored to your personal biometrics data. You can basically ask it any type of questions related to your overall health, and it'll take into account your recorded health data to provide answers and actionable advice to better improve your overall health and wellness. Both of these features are still in beta, but I think it's pretty cool to see how Aura is trying to think beyond just serving up the numbers on a screen, which most fitness trackers do nowadays. Now for number 8, it is a disappointing one. You still have to pay a membership if you want to get access to the more in-depth health and fitness tracking features. As of today, the subscription is either $5.99 a month or $69.99 for the full year, which may not seem as expensive because it's the cost of Starbucks coffee. But look, I think what gets me more is just based off of principle. Even though you get that first month free, the idea that you have to pay a lot of like $350, $400 for the device itself, and then pay more just to get the understanding of your personal health data just doesn't really sit right with me, you know? I do currently pay for it myself because I personally find it useful, but I would have just preferred it just be free in my opinion. Another important thing to realize is that the Oura Ring Gen 4 is still a bit limited in its use cases when it comes to doing various activities. Having something on your finger isn't as comfortable when it comes to activities like swimming or weightlifting. This is where I personally would prefer something that goes around my wrist like the Whoop or the Apple Watch. Now, it's definitely perfect for your everyday regular wear, but for most physical activities where you do a lot of gripping or you need heavily use of your hands, it can be a bit uncomfortable. Now, the final thing to keep in mind before buying the Oura Ring Gen 4 is that if you already have the Oura Ring Gen 3, I would really take some time and consider whether or not you should upgrade. Even though the upgraded sensors are nice, I don't know if it's worth spending the extra $400 just to get the current refinements, especially due to the fact that it's not like you can just trade in your old Oura Ring for a new one like an iPhone. And if you don't have either and you want to save some money, I'm pretty sure at the time of this video, many retailers are still selling the Gen 3 at a lower price until they run out of stock. So if you could find one, I think it's worth checking it out. Now, don't get me wrong, I think the Oura Ring Gen 4 is very impressive, and if you're in the market for one and you have the money, then just get the latest and greatest. I also just love the direction that Oura is heading in, and I think they have taken the wearable market by storm, and I'm excited to see what they have in store for their products and apps in the future. If you want to see a comparison of the Oura Ring and the Whoop, check this video out right here. If you want to see a more in-depth review video that I made on the Gen 3, click this video right here. As always, stay healthy, be happy, and embrace the hype. Woo!
Someday in the future, smartphones may become a thing of the past. Imagine every smartphone function integrated into what you wear. Today, we're introducing Xiaomi's first pair of smart eyewear. Calling, viewing, navigating, camera, all integrated in a pair of glasses. Xiaomi smart glasses use optical waveguide technology for lens display capabilities. At its core is a 0.13-inch micro-LED display. Smaller than a grain of rice, light output is as high as 2 million nits. Through reflection and diffusion of the optical waveguide lens, a much larger display is offered to the eye. View notification, phone calls, HUD navigation.
Xiaolai 同学, translate the menu.
Okay, translating the menu.
And take photos. It was said, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Xiaomi smart glasses uses an engineering mindset to create a future viewpoint.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news. Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
Music and artificial intelligence, two worlds colliding in a way we've never seen before. AI-generated music is no longer science fiction. It's happening right now, and it's changing the way artists create. Take Aiva, an AI that composes entire orchestral scores. This is an exciting time for music innovation. But what do you think? Does AI enhance creativity, or is it replacing human artistry? Let us know. Let's hear what AI-generated music sounds like.
Hi, I'm Brad Fry, Music Supervisor here at Aiva Technologies, with a quick introduction to using Aiva to help compose your music. Once you've created your account, you'll be greeted with the My Tracks page, where you can view and listen to all of the tracks that you've generated. You can rename them by double-clicking the name and typing your desired name, and you can also organize them into folders by clicking New Folder and dragging tracks into the folder. To create a track, click the green Create Track button and select a preset style for your composition. From here, you have the option of clicking Customize Parameters to specify things like key, time signature, pacing, instrumentation, and more. If you don't have a preference for these parameters, you can simply leave everything set to Auto and click the blue Create Your Tracks button. Generation time can last anywhere between a few seconds to about a minute, depending on the composition. Once the composition has finished generating, you can listen to it by clicking the play button. You can also view it in the piano roll by either clicking Piano Roll on the left-hand sidebar, or by right-clicking the track and selecting Open in Piano Roll. From here, you can see an overview of the entire track by selecting Spectator Mode at the top left. You can also select Edit Mode to make changes to the generated track, such as modifying the instrumentation, changing the dynamics, the tempo, and more. When you're satisfied with the track, you can go back to the My Track screen and click the download icon, which gives you several options, including downloading the MP3, the orchestrated and reduced MIDI file, a text file containing the chord progression, or everything at once in a zip archive. You can also view your copyright license and the remaining monthly downloads that you have, all of which are dependent on which of our plans you are subscribed to. And that's it. That's a brief introduction to composing music with Aiva. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy creating some of your own music on the Music Engine.
In today's Code Red, we're talking about a newly discovered cybersecurity flaw that could put millions of devices at risk. Cybersecurity researchers have uncovered a critical vulnerability in Wi-Fi routers that allows hackers to access your home network remotely. If you haven't updated your router firmware in a while, you might be at risk. What can you do? Update your router software, change your passwords regularly, and use WPA3 encryption for better security.
Today I'm going to walk you through simple steps to secure your home Wi-Fi network to make sure that your home is a safe place to get online. Let's get this done. Welcome to All Things Secured. My name's Josh. This is Tech Tip Tuesday, a segment of this channel where I walk you step by step through the most important things that you can do in 5 minutes or less to increase your security and privacy on things like your mobile devices and here for your Wi-Fi router and your home network. Now, a lot of people just set their home network and forget about it. They take the password and the SSID that they were given by their internet provider, and that's what they use. But there are so many more steps that you can take, and I'm just going to share with you 5 of the easiest ones that you can do right now. And this is going to require you to be near your router. So if you can, just move to the place where you're going to be with your router. You want to be looking at your router in order to log into the administration. If you're using any other router, it's generally going to be on the bottom or on the back and side where you can find that 6 or 7 digit code along with a password that's printed on it. If you're using an Apple Airport, you can log into the Airport app on your Mac. And what you're looking for, the first thing that we want to change is the SSID. This is the ID that comes up when you're searching for Wi-Fi. What you may not realize is that a lot of these IDs can be tied back to the manufacturer of that particular router. And that router may have known vulnerabilities so that if I, as a hacker, see that particular ID, I know how I can hack into it. In addition to that, it also can be an identifier to know, oh, that Wi-Fi is related to this house that's really expensive and I would want to definitely hack into that. So what you want to do is you just want to rename it. Try not to make it too personally identifiable. Don't make it your name if you can. Just make it something that changes the name of the SSID and then allows you to know exactly what it is. It's not going to make this super secure, but it is just a simple change that you can make. While you're in there, the second thing that we want to do is we want to set up a new, more secure password. Obviously, your internet provider gave you a password and set up your Wi-Fi with password protection, but you want to do something that's maybe a little bit better. So you want to create a strong, unique password. I use a password generator and a password manager like 1Password to help me with stuff like this, and that's something you can consider as well. When you're in the settings for your router, another thing you want to look at is disabling remote access. There's very few times when you're going to want to have the ability to remotely access your router. What that means is if you're not physically present near the Wi-Fi router, it's giving you the ability to basically dial in from another location. And there's no reason that you're going to want to use that for most people. It's an advanced feature, so I recommend that you take and disable that feature if you can. If you have a lot of guests over, one of the things that happens is you tend to give out your Wi-Fi password, and that Wi-Fi password gets stored in their devices for basically forever. If you were to look into your Wi-Fi settings, you'd find that you probably have quite a few networks that are remembered and saved in your device. Now what that means is they also have access to your network depending on how it's set up. That could even include your Internet of Things devices like your Alexa or your Google Assistant, all of these things. So one of the things that I do that can be done in a number of different ways is setting up a separate Wi-Fi network for guests and other people. So I have a Wi-Fi network that's secured specifically for my family and our devices. And then I have a separate network that is for my Internet of Things and for any guests that come in, so that when they ask for that password, I'm not giving away my secure password that I use for, all of my internet connection stuff. Now, this can be done by having a separate router entirely, which takes a little bit of time to set up. If you use something like an Apple Airport or some other advanced routers, they actually have an option for what they call a guest ID. And this just sets up a separate Wi-Fi network that is completely separated so that they don't have access to your home network when they access that particular guest network. Finally, this is something that I don't see a lot of people doing, but it's really important. Let's say that you're going on a vacation or you're leaving your house for more than just the regular hours of work. Turn off your Wi-Fi. There's no reason to have your Wi-Fi continuing to go on, because especially if you're using Internet of Things, Alexa, all of these other devices, those are just other access points to your network, and the last thing you want is to just leave that open and available for anybody to just take their time trying to hack while you're away from your house. That's the tip I've got for you today. If you want other great Tech Tuesday tips, I recommend you check out this playlist. If you have any other questions about securing your home network, leave them in the comments below and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.
Technology isn't just about convenience, it's saving lives. Today in Wired for Change, we're looking at how tech is being used in disaster relief efforts. Robots like Boston Dynamics Spot are being deployed in disaster zones to assess damage and search for survivors. Meanwhile, drones equipped with thermal cameras help locate people trapped under debris. And apps like Zello allow emergency responders to communicate when cellular networks fail. Let's see these incredible innovations in action.
Hi, I'm Russell, and this is Spot. So you've probably seen this robot before, maybe hauling a truck or dancing to Bruno Mars's Uptown Funk. It's the first of this generation of semi-autonomous four-legged robots, and it does a lot more than just make videos for the internet. For about a month now, Boston Dynamics has been putting Spot to work, leasing units out to industry partners, and seeing how this kind of robot holds up in the real world. When you're standing next to Spot, the striking thing is how small and sturdy it is. It's just under 3 feet high and weighs 70 pounds, which means it's light enough for a single person to pick up. A lot of the movements you're seeing here are remote controlled by an operator, but Spot has a handful of basic skills it can do automatically. It knows how to climb stairs, how to avoid walls, and even knows how to dance a little.
Get it right?
Spot's not tired at all. Of course, we've seen walking robots before, but few of them had Spot's sense of balance. Accelerometers tell Spot if it's moving, and torque sensors in the joints tell it exactly how its weight is distributed. If Spot feels itself tipping forward, a protocol kicks in, telling it to find surer footing. It also has cameras on all 4 sides, so it can see where to plant its foot. Spot still can't tell the difference between firm ground and loose dirt, which means navigating these dirt piles got a little chaotic. When it does fall, there's a protocol for righting itself, which works most of the time, although it did need human assistance when we flipped it into the bottom of a particularly steep ditch. The simplest way to use Spot is this controller, which uses the same layout as an Xbox. The left joystick moves Spot forward and back, or strafes left and right, while the right joystick spins it around. You can also use the camera view to see what Spot is seeing, and send it to specific waypoints. Tap a spot on the screen, and Spot will find a way to get there. The controls are really easy to learn, mostly because there isn't that much to control, so much of it's automatic. Within a couple of minutes, I was able to send Spot wherever I wanted, although it does stop at walls because of the object sensor. At the same time, I didn't get the tight connection that you do with video games or RC cars. You can tell it's more designed for automation than human pilots. Boston Dynamics is hoping that a lot of the time, Spot won't need a driver at all. For more complicated tasks, you can chain waypoints together, sending Spot to retrace a path it walked through earlier with human assistance. That could mean checking all the gauges on an oil rig or taking LiDAR scans of a room from a dozen specific points. This version of Spot mostly knows how to navigate spaces, but the plan is for it to carry more sophisticated tools on its back, like a zoomable camera or the claw it uses to open doors. Industry partners can also build their own modules for more specialized jobs. Attach a methane detector module, and Spot could check a whole facility for gas leaks. Attach a LiDAR rig, and Spot could make a 3D map of a whole building from the inside. It's a completely new way for computer programs to interact with the physical world, automating tasks that would otherwise be impossible to do without a human being. There's also just straight up entertainment. It's really fun to watch this kind of robot do these precise movements, particularly if you have 10 or 15 of them in unison. It's not hard to imagine 50 Spots dancing Pikachu style in a theme park. Right now, Boston Dynamics has about 60 beta units. That's the yellow guy you're seeing here, but they've already started building the next generation, which is what they're loaning out. Eventually, they're hoping to have 1,000 of them, but right now there's only about 20 being leased out. Now, Boston Dynamics wouldn't say exactly what those bots are doing, since most of the partnerships are still confidential. They also didn't tell us exactly how much the robots cost, since technically Spot isn't for sale. All they told us is that the leases were in the range of what you pay to lease a car, which doesn't say much. One thing we have to talk about, and there's really no other word for it, is the creepiness. Some people get really freaked out by Spot. It moves with a precision that we don't see in the natural world, and it stops dead still whenever it doesn't have a task, which can be unsettling. When you watch these videos, there are all sorts of comments about how these robots are going to rise up and destroy humanity. There was even a Black Mirror episode about it. But I didn't get that sense in person. Really, Spot doesn't recognize people at all. For the robot, you're just an obstacle that's too big to step on. At the same time, Boston Dynamics is really concerned about any situation where Spot might end up harming a person, even if it's just getting your hand pinched by one of the joints. They also said that they didn't want to sell to any clients who would use Spot to harm people or build weapons modules or anything like that, which was good to hear. Spot's great at climbing through piles of dirt, but it doesn't have the social skills to navigate big crowds, and Boston Dynamics has a lot of work to do before it can build those skills. But that does mean that for now, you're probably not going to see Spot anywhere with lots of people around. The company's thinking about construction sites, oil rigs, maybe a few movie sets, but those are all pretty tightly controlled spaces. For now, Spot's really just a platform, a stable base where partners can build new modules and new software skills. Once people start building on that platform, Spot's going to get smarter fast, and we may start seeing robots in places we never expected.
We are all seeking connection to each other, to the world, to the spaces we exist in.
Poor sportsmanship right now from the lads. 1.85 for the national record. Here's another chance, and it is a goal from Vindo Kahana.
Sy sê wie hy is aan neertrek en daai bal het my grond gevat. Ja, hy het grond gevat en as hy
Running that mountain up. Okay, so we will be doing this. More advanced, slightly advanced.
So is jou trolley reg? Want
I love it. I love it. So then
kickstart our countdown at number 5 with this one.
Op Netwerk TV se Klets Kompas gesels ons nuus van 'n Maandag tot Donderdag. Ons kyk ook na die weer en meer. Stories wat jou raak en stories wat saak maak.
They've made a mistake in denying me bail, and they've made several other mistakes in many other cases.
The channels that teach us something new or reflect our expression. So it goes beyond switching to the right station. It's about choosing the experience that can adorn the present, dressing it with our tastes as we expand our preferences, because what we are actually connecting to is boundless, limitless human energy, and this is the spirit of NTV.
That's a wrap for this episode of Cyber Monday. From AI music to cybersecurity risks, we covered it all. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, stay curious, stay innovative, and keep pushing the boundaries of tech. See you next week.